So Theseus' career as a hero had a pretty good start. When he first set out to meet his father in Athens, he chose to prove his valor by traveling along the bandit-infested Saronic Gulf. And during this journey, he rid the land of its 6 most notorious criminals. He then, of course, went to Crete, where he slew the Minotaur, freeing Athens from the subjugation of King Minos. He accomplished this with the help of Ariadne, having sworn to make her his wife in return. Then they sailed out to the island of Naxos, and this is where things take a sharp turn. Though there are differing accounts of what exactly happened. The most common version of events has Theseus abandoning Ariadne in her sleep. Then upon waking, she either committed not alive on herself, or the god Dionysus fell in love with her and swept her away to make her his wife. Ariadne had several children with Dionysus, and eventually she was made immortal and worshipped as a goddess on Naxos. It should be noted that some accounts absolve Theseus of wrongdoing. Diodorus presents a version where Dionysus actually visits him in a dream and forces him to leave the island without her. And Plutarch provides an obscure and very tragic account where Theseus' ship ended up at Naxos after being blown off course by a storm. Ariadne was pregnant and extremely seasick, so she went onto the island. But then the storm picked up again and pushed Theseus' ship back out to sea. The women of Naxos cared for Ariadne in her grief and attempted to comfort her by forging letters from Theseus. But the poor girl fell sick and passed away before her child was born. Eventually, Theseus returned to the island and was heartbroken to find his fiancée dead, and he gave the people of Naxos money to form a cult in her honor. The next big mishap in Theseus' life was forgetting to raise white sails on his return to Athens in order to signal his victory against the Minotaur. This caused his father Aegeus to cast himself into the ocean. This blunder would have been a little forgivable if we were to assume that Theseus was grief-stricken over Ariadne. But if that wasn't the case, then the only takeaway is that he's an idiot. With Aegeus dead, Theseus was now the most eligible to inherit the throne of Athens, much to the dismay of his 50 cousins, the Pallantides. They hatched a scheme to kill Theseus, planning to separate into 2 groups. One meant to bait Theseus out of the city, and the other waiting in ambush on his path to meet them. But the herald of the Pallantides, a man named Leos, betrayed them by divulging their whole plot to Theseus. And he ambushed the ambushers, killing them all and sending the other group running home. After becoming king of Athens, Theseus eventually took back up his adventuring hobby and accompanied Heracles on his quest into the land of the Amazons. Wait, when exactly is this supposed to be taking place? Has Medea tried to kill you yet? Yeah, so this is after you were with the Argonauts. Was I with the Argonauts? Yeah, wait, no, you're supposed to be trapped in Hades then, and that hasn't even happened. I'm gonna be where? Hey, guys, let's not worry about the timeline. It's just gonna get more confusing the more you try and untangle it. Yeah, you're right. Fair enough. Anyway, Theseus kidnapped the Amazonian princess Antiope to make her his queen, and the 2 of them had a son named Hippolytus. And apparently, Antiope decided, you know what, I'm actually pretty happy here. There are worse guys to get kidnapped by and forced to bear children with. However, this marriage wouldn't last. After the death of King Minos, his son Deucalion took over Crete, and Deucalion sought to end his people's hostilities with Athens, so he betrothed his sister Phaedra to Theseus. After being dumped for the Cretan princess, Antiope decided to crash Theseus and Phaedra's wedding with her Amazonian gal pals, and Theseus was forced to slay her in battle. And I thought my ex-wife was a pain to deal with. Theseus and Phaedra then had 2 sons, but unfortunately this marriage wouldn't last long either. The downfall of their relationship is told in detail by the Greek playwright Euripides. Phaedra's stepson Hippolytus was a devotee of Artemis, and he scorned the goddess Aphrodite for lack of interest in all things carnal. This pissed Aphrodite off, so to get him in trouble, she made Phaedra fall madly in love with Hippolytus, and the queen's distress over her unnatural desires caused her to fall ill. After being implored by her concerned nurse, Phaedra confessed her secret in confidence. The nurse then went to Hippolytus and confessed Phaedra's feelings on her behalf, and Hippolytus fell into a disgusted rage. Didn't you read my Twitter bio? What part of Arrow Ace do you not understand? Oh, I thought that was just cause you're really into archery. With her shame exposed, Phaedra promptly unalived herself and left a note for her husband, falsely accusing Hippolytus of assaulting her. Theseus then banished his son and prayed to the god Poseidon to avenge Phaedra on his behalf. And as Hippolytus was leaving on his chariot, a monstrous bull emerged from the sea, sending the horses into a panic and causing him to get tangled in the reins and dragged behind them. After hearing the news of this incident, Theseus was visited by Artemis, who revealed Phaedra's deception. Why didn't you tell me this before I told Poseidon to kill my innocent son? Because Deus Ex Machinas are cheap. You're already a literal Deus Ex Machina! And Theseus visited his dying son to beg his forgiveness and share a tearful goodbye. And I thought my dead wife was a bitch. By this time, word of Theseus' heroism had spread far and wide, and Pirithous, king of the Lapiths, decided to put his reputation to the test. He stole Theseus' cattle, and when he came to confront him, the two kings were in awe of each other's strength and masculine beauty, and agreed to become besties for life. Theseus then attended Pirithous' wedding, where Pirithous' cousins, the centaurs, were also invited. However, being unaccustomed to wine, the horsemen got absolutely sloshed, and attempted to abduct all the women in sight. And Theseus and Pirithous took up their weapons to fight. May I join the fray, fellow dudes at arms? Oh, Caeneus, congratulations on your transition. You look great, man, and wow, your voice is so deep now. Thanks, guys. The magic HRT Poseidon gave me did wonders. It also made my skin completely impenetrable, which is a nice plus. Ow, 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 ow. Well, And after a long battle, Theseus and Pirithous stood victorious. Is this just how weddings are supposed to go? Like, this is a weird thing to experience twice, right? Theseus and Pirithous then agreed that, being themselves descendants of gods, they would help each other claim daughters of Zeus for wives. First, they went to Sparta, where Theseus abducted Helen. But since she was only 12 years old, he left her in Athens to wait for her to come of age. Pirithous chose a much more ambitious conquest, and went with Theseus into Hades. Hey there, Hades! We just thought we'd come pay you a visit and not kidnap your wife Persephone. Well, how nice of you to come by. Why don't you two pop a squat on those totally normal chairs right there? Don't mind if we do. Huh? Ah, damn it, we've been beguiled. Ugh, I knew this was gonna happen. We should have listened to Orpheus. You hooligans have a lot of nerve. The only one who gets to kidnap my wife is me. Aw, that's sweet, honey. And so Theseus and Pirithous remained trapped in the underworld until Heracles came by on his quest to retrieve Cerberus, and he broke Theseus free from his chair. However, when he attempted to free Pirithous, the earth shook, and it was decided that his intention to abduct a goddess was too great a sin to be forgiven, and Pirithous would remain trapped in Hades forever. I'll never forget the time we shared, kidnapping girls. Swear to me you'll commit twice as many horrendous crimes, for my sake. I will, brother. I will. However, when Theseus returned home, he discovered that Helen's brothers, Castor and Pollux, had come and rescued her, and installed Menestheus, his first cousin twice removed, as the new king of Athens. And I thought my 12-year-old bride was... okay, I'm not gonna make that joke, that one's too far. Anyway, Theseus fled to the island of Skyros, but Lycomedes, the king of the island, was afraid of Theseus for his past deeds. Or possibly he had already pledged loyalty to Menestheus. Theseus demanded a portion of land based on some ancestral claim that I'm too lazy to try and trace back. Lycomedes brought him up to a tall peak on the pretense of surveying his new estate and pushed him off a cliff. And that was the end of Theseus, everyone's favorite heroic monster slayer slash serial widower slash child abductor. Yeah, he went downhill really fast. No pun intended.